Tired of big tech clashing with your Catholic values? Feday Chat is now live on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. It's private, encrypted, and built by Catholics for Catholics, with features like parental controls and more. Connect securely with family, friends, and groups. Download Feday Chat at feday.email. Technology without compromise.
We have St. Patrick's Cathedral just made the news. This would be Cardinal Timothy Dolan, Cardinal Donut as some people call him, being praised by the New York Times. Something I'd just like to remind people of. If you are a prelate of the Catholic Church, or a priest of the Catholic Church, or a public figure, and you are being praised by secular mainstream media, you should pause and reflect to see if what you're doing is the right thing to do. Cardinal Dolan has decided to wade in on the immigration debate, because of course he has. Remember that catchphrase, the inclusion, the inclusivity of the church that started under Francis will continue. So here's the New York Times with this hard-to-read headline because they need a better graphic designer. St. Patrick's Cathedral to unveil mural celebrating city's immigrants. Cardinal Timothy Dolan's art commission hits a top button. Thought they might say, we don't want to wade in these waters. The opposite happened, the painter said. So basically, they're going to be putting up a bunch of political murals that use the gospel as a skin suit for political purposes inside their cathedral. St. Patrick's Cathedral doesn't get a facelift with its interior decorating very often. This is what the new synodal church will look like in practice. Inclusivity for all the things the world demands. But voices of orthodoxy get pushed to the side. That is what's going to happen. This is what the new synodal religion looks like. Now, here are the details, because if you ever want to say something nice about Timothy Dolan, you can say, it's easy to say, the easiest nice thing to say is that he's not very good at being duplicitous. He will tell you what he's doing. He loves the media. I'm very happy he didn't become Pope, by the way. From the article, quote, as immigration has become a bitterly divisive issue with the Trump administration denying asylum consideration to anyone crossing the border from Mexico and ramping up removals, St. Patrick's Cathedral will unveil a huge mural next month that depicts the arrival of immigrants to New York City in the 19th century, along with a huddle of contemporary arrivals, Hispanic, Asian, and Black. It's a celebration of a city that has been built by immigrants and where immigrants have been welcomed, Cardinal Timothy M. Dolan, who is the Archbishop of New York, said in an interview in his official residence adjoining St. Patrick's. The first major art commission in the cathedral since bronze doors were installed at the Fifth Avenue entrance in 1949 will be dedicated during a mass on September 21st. And we're going to pause here. Note what Cardinal Dolan was doing, rhetorically, what he was doing. He was conflating those who arrive illegally with those who went through whatever the legal process was at their time in history. He's making them the same thing. They're not the same thing. You as the church has a duty, you as Catholics have a duty, we all do, to obey the laws of Caesar. And if those laws are unjust, then we can resist them. But the controlling who can enter and who cannot, the church has said unequivocally, is within the realm of Caesar. And that those who come in must assimilate. They must support the country they live in, adopt its culture and norms and things that don't violate the faith, and do all those things. They're supposed to essentially, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And they're not doing that. And this is the big political hot button issue of our time. And this is what Timothy Dolan is doing. He, who is usually fairly politically savvy, honestly, there are pictures galore of him rubbing shoulders with Barack Obama and George Bush. He knows how to play the game. He's usually smarter than this. This is a really bad idea on his part. Roughly 21 feet tall, the mural of 12 panels was painted by the Brooklyn-based artist Adam Zvinovich, who titled it with a slight word adjustment after a song popularized by Elvis Costello, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. Along with immigration, he depicted a historic event dear to the Cardinal's heart, the Holy Apparition at Knock, in which 15 people in the Irish village of that name in 1879 reported seeing the Virgin Mary, 2 saints, and the Lamb of God, a symbol of Jesus Christ, in a vision that lasted for about 2 hours on a wall of the parish church. 6 artists competed for the commission. Dolan and a committee of art advisors and donors favored his proposal, which is in realistic style. The rest of them were a little too Picasso-like, Dolan said. I wanted something that people could look at and see the holy apparition at Knock, and not that you'd have to be on a controlled substance to figure it out. Self-taught painter, yada, 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 likes to do realistic paintings, and that's fine. Actually, I don't object to him doing... If you're going... Contemporary art of this style is definitely... If you're going to have contemporary art, this is one of the better ways to do it, because there's nothing disordered and unnatural about the presentation per se. Among his past works are a series complete in 2023. He's got he likes to do political things. St. Patrick's Mural will be a lasting legacy for Dolan, who, when he turned 75 in February, submitted his resignation as cardinal and archbishop. The Vatican has not named a successor. A week before his birthday, he had strongly criticized an assertion by Vice President Vance that the Roman Catholic bishops were in favor of immigration because the church profited from resettlement funds. He called it inaccurate, scurrilous, and very nasty. In fact, he said the church loses money hand over fist in caring for immigrants. End quote. And I don't believe him at all on that one, nor should you. Because the way the funding from the government works on this subject makes it very easy for them to hide where the money comes from. If the archdiocese, through Catholic Charities, takes a contract from a secular organization that got its contract from the government, guess what? That's government money, but not coming directly from the government, coming through an intermediary. It's how it works with a lot of these things. And so the bishops defend what they do by saying, well, we don't make money, we lose money. I don't believe them, and I don't think anybody else should either. I'm curious what you have to say about this. Son of Albion says, bishops cannot retire. They're not supposed to, but for some reason, as I talked about briefly yesterday, canon law on this changed. Changed in the aftermath of Vatican II, where bishops suddenly had to submit a retirement at 75. Cardinals could no longer participate in the conclaves at 80. That came in the 1970s. And it was upheld by John Paul II when he came in. All that seems unnatural. After all, these are offices for life. I could understand a provision for those who are physically incapable of really doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's a bishop who is, on a getting breathing assistance or something, or having a home health care nurse attend to their needs probably isn't going to be that useful as a shepherd anymore. I can understand that kind of a circumstance for retirement. But all too often, what happens? Your bishop retires and then becomes a bishop emeritus. And then what happens? Well, you get a new bishop in your diocese, and the new bishop often has the bishop emeritus do things for him, like go to parishes in the corners of the diocese to do confirmations and things that he would be doing himself. So it's like kind of a fake retirement, at least early on. But at some point, they, of course, do hit that age where they can't really do much anymore, and so they quietly fade into the background. But these are offices for life. Perhaps they should keep them for as long as they physically can keep doing them. I'm curious, though, what you think of all this. Let me know in the comments, please. I'm going to wrap this up here. It's a Sunday morning. We're going to be going to Mass here shortly. Found a good place to go while we are on the road. So if you happen to see me and I'm in your area, feel free to say hi, though I tend to keep a low profile at Mass and after Mass. But let me know what you think of these stories in the comments, please. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. Sharing this on social media helps too. Pray for everybody we spoke about today. Not trying to make you mad at Pope Leo or Cardinal Timothy Dolan or anybody else. It's just that the men and women running the church these days do a good enough job of that they don't need my help to do it. As always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.